that I will just show you what I do. Let's say someone's lashing out and they're being really hateful to me, and I'm just like, whoo, what's that about? And I'm kind of processing it, and I walk away, and I'm like, I'm going to go on a walk, and this is what I'll typically do. Go on a nature walk, or sometimes go take a hot salt bath, but I'll just kind of tap my heart, and I'll just ask, like, what's going on inside of you? And what's going on, Tanya? What are you feeling inside? And so I'm not so worried about what all the stuff externally is about. What do they think about me? Why are they being mean to me? That's all just the energy that's coming at me to help me tune in. And so if I can tune in, what's going on inside? What are you feeling? And then maybe I'm like, I feel like I need to cry. And then I let myself cry. And I let myself release old energy or emotions connected with the person. Or maybe it's not even the person itself that I have to deal with, but they triggered something that I need to release. And so if we can each get in the habit of tuning in the now, like immediately, I personally feel your highest priority is your self-love. And our highest priority is our alignment with our source. So if somebody's attacking you psychically, verbally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, your priority is not to go get really busy and go to work and pretend it didn't just happen. It's actually really important that we don't use all of our world, life, situation stuff as a distraction for the now. And whatever's coming in now, if we can just access that emotion and feel it and be very present with it, it's amazing how swift we can clear things, and we can really get to know ourselves better and help ourselves heal and come back and return to a place of self-love. And so I encourage you all to do this, to practice this more and be very mindful and present with yourselves in the now. I had something happen, and I'll just be very honest. I don't have the greatest relationship, or I should say, I love the people in my life, and not all humans in my life love me back in the way that I know I deserve to be. And from a divorce that I chose to leave, a 20-year marriage several years ago, I still have not had a great relationship with my biological daughter. And she just decided to contact me out of the blue and just lash out and just spew her venom. And it was very hurtful at the beginning. And I won't lie, I was like, what the hell's happening? But as I went and like, okay, I need to go and take a salt bath. I need to get away from my phone for a little bit and not read any of this poison. And I could tune in and kind of feel and process everything of what would I like to say? Like, what is it I feel like my heart needs to say to this human? And what is going on with this human? And it helped me to process, like, this is a hurting human. And hurting humans, this is what, you can all look into your own life, and you can challenge me on this if you disagree, but check into your lives and watch how hurting humans will lash out and they want to hurt humans. That is what they do. Hurting humans want to hurt other humans because they're hurting. And so if we get that, we can at least understand what they're doing. If we respond and just reactively get triggered by it, and we get into the, slandering with them and start throwing mud at each other, we start hurting. And that's really the pain body's goal, is I'm hurting and I want to wake up your inner pain body, and we're going to have a fiery feud, and we're just going to feed off each other and emotionally and energetically. And I would encourage you not to do that. It's not really a beneficial way to handle things. And so what I choose to do is I pull away, I access and process it, and then I feel, okay, this is a hurting human. Now, what is my response from love for myself and for this hurting human? What is the best way for me to interact? And so a lot of us, we have these situations. It's amazing how many moms I've talked to that are like, Tanya, I know exactly how you feel, girl. My daughter and I haven't talked for years, or my son and I had a falling out, and my kid's just taken from me the last time. And, a lot of parents, I don't know that they all even feel like they have somebody to talk to about this stuff. And there's so much belief system we have in our culture about what a mom should be or a dad should be. And it's bullshit. Like, there are things that I feel as a mother and as a father, we're to be for our children. We're to be guides for them. We're to help nurture them and help teach them and guide them. That's what I feel like we're here to do, and love them. But I am not, as a mother, here to be a doormat. I did for about 20 years of my life, and this is where my children learned that, oh, we can just treat her like this. So in a sense, when I left that marriage, these children, they don't know me as I am now. And some of you that are listening, maybe you've had a life change, a life transition where who you were at one time is not who you are today. And maybe you're also having people that can't see you fresh and clear in the now. And it's not because you're not worthy, and it's not because you don't deserve the love and respect, but it's really because they can't see you. They don't want to see you, and they're not choosing to see you. And if we can just understand that, it helps us stay in our alignment. I feel like it's helped me very much stay in my center, no matter who is throwing the mud. And I've had my share of people that have tossed their angry stones my way. But when I can just observe them and be like, wow, what is going on with them? And they're hurting so much. And though I have compassion for that, I will not fucking tolerate that. And I feel like it's really important that as we take our power back, we understand this balance, because I know for myself, for many years, I felt like to be a good mom meant I had to be there for my kids. And even if they're treating me shitty or screaming at me, it's okay. I'm a mom. I can take it. Like, just drop your venom on me, and I'm going to just make sure you feel better. And I do not believe that's healthy. I used to be this. I used to actually do this shit. And it was not good. And it didn't ever feel good to me. So a lot of us coming into our divinity and into our alignment of self-love is going to make everything change. And it's going to challenge us to change. And it's going to challenge everyone who's ever known us to change. Because if we start to shift into a place where we will not tolerate abuse and disrespect, then the ones who are used to that are going to be really uncomfortable with that. They're going to be like, what the hell's wrong with mom? Like, she's not letting me treat her shitty. Like, what's up? And get comfortable with that. As a mother, as a father, as a friend, as a sister, a daughter, whatever you're playing, a brother, a son, just get comfortable with being completely in your center and being authentic and loving yourself and daring to speak up for yourself and not care so much about what everyone else thinks about you, but care what you think about you. Care what you actually think about you, and do you love you, and are you honoring you? And if you're not, I encourage you to change something, because it doesn't matter how many years you stay catering to misaligned children or husbands or bosses, it is not going to fucking make you happy. And I feel like it's really important that each of us has the courage to take our power back, because as like the divine feminine is rising on our planet, which it is, we have to embody this light and this love. We have to get into this frequency of self-love if we're here to really do the work we came here to do. And we have to balance the masculine and feminine within us. We have to be able to access that yin side so we can be receptive, we can be nurturing, and we can, bring in all this wisdom and the teachings, the ancient stuff that we're here to teach. But we have to also balance it with our masculine, a nurturing masculine, a protective masculine. We have to get past this old masculine energy of dominating and manipulative and controlling and fearful. That is an old paradigm of the masculine that has to wash away for us to really be able to bring ourselves into balance. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, we each have to do this work. Every single one of us, every one of us, has the mission of aligning our masculine and our feminine energies in our divine masculine, our divine feminine, so that we are in balance and in harmony. Because if we don't, we're not going to be in balance. And when we're not in balance, we're going to attract relationships and situations that are not in balance. And we're going to keep creating codependent relationships that create suffering. So I encourage you guys all to really get comfortable with the shift that we're going through, which is a global shift, and it's a self-love shift. And as Matt Kahn talks about it, and I have said in the past, which is funny because I never heard of him before, and I've talked about the love revolution. He talks about the love revolution. And it's because we are both channeling source on this mission of activating and igniting this love revolution. And it starts within. It starts with each of you listening today. It starts with you loving you so deeply that you do not tolerate abuse another day. And one thing that I love that Matt Kahn said in his teachings last night is he said, and it was just so much confirmation. I love when the universe is like talking to me very in the now with shit that's happening. And I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to share something else that a friend shared on Facebook right after. And it's just like so much confirmation of the universe telling me enough is enough. But in his teachings last night, he was talking about Actually, hold on, I need a sip of water. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in his teachings, he was basically speaking to everyone about the importance of their self-love and taking back their power. And he was saying that, you know, reminding everyone about soul contracts, which I've talked about on the show before, of how we have soul contracts with people in our life. This is like the karmic energy of why you had to go work with that boss for a while and you didn't know why, but you did your job and then you're just done. You know, you're done and it's time to move on. Or maybe it was a relationship. You felt drawn to it. Something didn't feel right. You worked out some karma with each other and then you knew it was time to go. And so Matt Kahn's definition of a soul contract being complete is he said that the moment any form of abuse arises, that soul contract is complete. And so we have to change and shift old belief systems that tell us, oh, I can't leave this marriage. Once I give a vow, I have to stay forever. Like, till death do us part. Fuck that shit. Like, till death do us part. You don't need to die to get out of contracts. Every one of you, if you take your power back, you can get out of those fucking contracts right now. I'm just going to challenge you on that. Because we have these belief systems that tell us, oh, I have to stay 6 more months, or I have to tolerate this person for however much longer. Oh, I have to stay in this marriage for this much longer, or this job. No, you don't, actually. You don't have to stay another day in a situation that does not show you honor or respect. And I would encourage you not to. And what's amazing and what's powerful is that if you'd have known Tanya Love back when she was Tanya Gentleman, I was not the woman speaking today. I was terrified. I was insecure. I didn't really trust in myself. I ignored my intuition. I felt like nothing. I felt suicidal. I was so terrified of life. I wanted to escape this planet, go back with the angels. So the girl I am today, the woman I've become today, she had to work her ass off to get out of all those situations. And it was a journey that helped ignite the power that I now use to fuel these conversations with all of you. These soul conversations come from my pure truth and my pure authentic path and passion and purpose to help wake anyone and everyone up who's listening. Because like Matt Kahn said, the moment abuse enters, your contract is done. And you need to each remember this. The divinity in you did not come to this planet to be enslaved and to be tortured and to be abused. But each of us choosing to go into these contrasting situations, we chose that strategically to learn and to understand of the darkness. We wanted to learn about it. But once that abuse comes in, we need to remember that those contracts are done and we can move on. And those people that are hurting, they need to go find their path to healing. And maybe you're not their guide. Maybe you're not their teacher. And this is something that I really had to process myself because I love helping others and I love to be a teacher and inspire others. But I had to get to this place where I realized maybe I'm not the one to help that daughter. Or maybe I'm not the one that's going to help that husband. Maybe he needs to go through lifetimes of this torturous energy. Maybe he needs to enslave 50 more women before he fucking wakes up. I don't know, but I don't need to be there. And so we need to get to that place where we stop being the martyrs that we were trained to be, especially women. I feel like women in particular struggle with this because we're like, oh, I got to stay for the children. I got to stay for this. No, you fucking don't. I'm just going to say, you do not have to stay for anything. What you need to do is you need to love yourselves again. And I remember years ago having a guy, it was after like a domestic violence thing had happened between me and my ex. And I was talking with this guy and I was just really embarrassed. I just felt shameful about the whole thing. I was so embarrassed that just the situation had happened. And I was kind of crying and this guy came over and he's like, you know what your problem is? He's like, your problem is you have no self-esteem. And he's like, you need to get some self-esteem, girl. And he just said it so bluntly. And I didn't even know this guy. And at first it pissed me off. I was kind of like, who does he fucking think he is? He doesn't know who I am. Why is he saying this to me? But when he left, the words stayed, as they always do when messengers come to drop the seeds of truth. And I really processed and I was like, shit, I don't. Like, how do I get some? How do I get some of that self-esteem shit? You know, how do I do that? And so I say this with such compassion to any of you, wherever you are, because there's times in my journey that I've been in that place where I had no self-esteem and it was terrifying. But I promise you, just like what I just read by my friend on Facebook, he's saying that as we love ourselves more and we